Hi, this is Olajide from CTF Security and welcome to another YouTube video on TryHackMe titled The Tech Support. Our objective in this room is to hack into the scammer under development website to foil their plans. If we scroll down to the task 1 here, we have hack into the machine and investigate the target. Please allow about 5 minutes of the machine to fully boot. Note, the theme and security warning encountered in this room are part of the challenge. So we are expected to answer this question right here. What is the root.txt flag? So we have to get into the system to get our root.txt flag. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's try to load our IP into our browser to see what we are dealing with. And this happens to be the Apache 2 Ubuntu default page, which is not an interest to us currently. So we're going to look at other alternatives like performing a network or port scan on this IP address and also performing a directory brute force attack on this same IP address. So we're going to start with the port scanning, but before I do that, let me just create a directory for this work. So I'll just cd into my THM folder and can make a directory called, let's call it tech support. Okay, and if I ls and cd into tech support, so I can make a file, let's say mousepad tech support .txt. Okay, so this is where we're going to document all our findings, and I'll just head back to grab the IP address. So let's perform the port scan. So I'm going to use a sudo nmap, do a script scan, a version scan, and our IP address. Supply the sudo password. Sorry about that. Okay, no target was specified, so nmap has a thing for the HTTP protocol. That is coming up. Let's fire up our directory brute forcing attack also. So I'll just open a new tab for that, and let's cd into our directory. I think we have it on the thm slash tech support, cd thm ls cd tech support. So ls, okay, we can run it from this directory, and let's say go buster, and I already have the syntax here. All I need to do is to edit the URL right here. So here we're going to be fixing our IP address here. I'll just paste that right here. Okay, we have that to be in duplicate. So I'll just send that. So our directory brute forcing has started, and we'll wait for the output of that. Let's head back to our nmap scan. Okay, good. So we have our nmap scan, and we have our output on this screen. So let's just grab that and copy this, and let's call this nmap scan. Just paste it right here, and let's give it a header, tech support, and the IP, so that I can just grab the IP once and for all. Okay, so Let's take a look at what the nmap result is. We have the SSH port. I think I omitted the other two. Let's see that. Okay, yeah. So it's port 22, not port 2. So I'm just going to add the 2 here. So we have an SSH on this machine, which happens to be running on the port 22. We also have the port 80, which is what is displaying the Apache default page. You can see the page right here. And we also have the net BIOS, which is the port 139. And we have, wow, interestingly, we have the port 445, which is the Samba, also the net BIOS. We're going to take a look at this to see if we can access some default shares from this particular machine through the port 445. So let's take a look at the default page. Okay, I think this has 2 page already, which I've already explored. So let's try to explore that also. Sorry about that. Copy, and on the new tab, let's see what we have on the /WordPress, and let me copy the other one. We also have the second one, which is /test. Okay, so you can explore these 2 pages. Personally, I've tried to explore these 2 pages and I did not find any interesting file that might lead to exploiting this particular machine. So we're just going to head back to our scan and see if we can access the port 445. So we're going to be using the SMB client to do this. So I'll just load up a new terminal. So from this point, let's use the SMB client, and using the syntax, we are specifying the IP address, which I can grab from this point. So I'll just paste that here. But before the IP address, we are supposed to list the shares on this machine, and we can just hit the enter key. Okay, good. So we actually have some shares, and if you look closely, what interests me on this page is the web server, which the type is the DIX format. So I'm going to just take a look at that particular share name. So in order to do that, I'm going to use the SMB client again. This time around, we don't need the list command, and can just navigate into the web server. Just press enter. Okay, good. We have a shell, so I can ls from this SMB shares, and we have an interesting file here called the enter.txt. So let's just try and get that file. So get enter.txt. Great. So we've successfully downloaded the enter.txt. So I can exit this. I can exit this, and ls or cat enter.txt file we just downloaded, and this is the information on this page. So we have the heading which is goals, make fake pop-up and host it online on DigitalOcean server, fix Subrion site /Subrion. This happens to be a directory which we have not found on our directory brute forcing yet. Okay, so I think I'm going to just add that to our findings. So let's see. /Subrion. So I'm just going to copy this and add it here. So let's call this directory findings. Let's paste it here. So let's forge ahead. The next thing is okay, /Subrion doesn't work. Edit from the panel. So definitely there is another directory inside the Subrion directory, which is called the panel. So I'm just going to add that to the finding on the directory Subrion /panel. So I'll just save that, and let's head back to the terminal here, and we have other information here. Subrion credential, which happens to be the admin as the user, and we have an encrypted string right here, which says it is cooked with magical formula. So what we need to do is to decrypt this text right here, and the easiest way to do that is to fire up our cyber chef. So I'm just going to head to the browser. Let's open up a new browser and fire up the cyber chef. So I'll just grab this. Okay, let me call this file findings, and we'll grab this entire .txt file and paste on the document here. So what we need is this encrypted text right here. You just copy this and I'll paste it right here. So we have this automatic decryption on the cyber chef, which can automatically decrypt some encryption for us without dragging and dropping any recipe on this stage right here. So I'm just going to click on this, and you can see it has successfully decoded this encryption. So this is like a 3-layer of encryption: base 58, base 32, and base 64. So this is the output. So I'm just going to grab this, and now we have a credential to log in. I'll just paste that here. Let's call this credential. So this is our own credential. So we have the username to be admin, and we have the password to be, I'll just paste that here. Good. So make sure we save that, and let's head back to this panel here. But first, let's grab our new directory we just found on this machine, copy it, and let's see if we can navigate to that directory. So I'm just going to add this to the IP and load the page. Wow, interestingly, so we have a login page for this website, and we have some information disclosure here telling us that this particular login page was powered by Subrion CMS version 4.2.1. So we have some information here. So we could Google a vulnerability for the Subrion CMS version 4.2.1. So I'll just copy this and let's do some Google search. So just paste this and type vulnerability. Okay, exploit DB. So we're going to be using the one from exploit DB. So I'll just open that up. So but while we check this, let's try to log in with our credential. We have our credential to be admin. We have our password to be, let me just grab that, scam 2021, and let's log in. paste that here and log in. I'll save. So just give that some time to log in. So the vulnerability on the exploit DB for the Subrion CMS 4.2.1 is an arbitrary file upload, and this is a simple Python script which we can use to exploit this vulnerability. Okay, so let's take a snip look at this Python script. It uses some couple of standard Python library and some other libraries. So we have libraries such as the request, the time, the option pass, the random, the string, and lastly the beautiful soup library. And you can see here the option pass is used to set the option for the script execution. We also have some conditional statement executing if not option.url, and we have that right here, what is expected to print on the screen. And we have some function defined to set the CSRF token, and we also have a shell upload, code execution, and also, so we're not going to be using this exploit per se. We're going to be doing manual exploitation of this machine. But what I want you to take note from this script is what extension the file upload is using. So if I just go to the find and search dot, so you can see the file extension this script is using. It's using the shell name, it's concatenating it with .phr. So what we're going to do is we're going to be uploading the PHP reverse shell, but we're going to change that name to the PHAR, which is the PHP archive file format. So I'll just head to my terminal and can ls. I've already done that already, but I'll just remove it to do that again. So I'll just PHP, let's remove that, no, not this one, I'm removing the .phar. Good. So if I ls one more time, we can see we have just the PHP reverse shell. So I can cut the PHP reverse shell to see the content, and our main objective is to edit the IP, which is this, and the port. So we're using the port 123. So we have to note down this port 123 because we need to connect back to this port 123 from our attacker machine. So this is my 0 IP address for the TryHackMe. So I'm just going to close this. Let's close that, and let's rename this file. So we can let's say copy PHP this and now name it PHAR, and if I ls one more time, you can see the file we are going to upload now. So we just head back to the dashboard, and this is the interface of our program. So we're going to navigate around this interface to see if there's a point of upload where we can upload this script we just created. So I'll just head to the system, and do we have upload? No. So I'll enter the content. Okay, good. So we have uploads. Okay, good. So we have the folder to be empty. So what we're going to do is to look for the link which we're going to use for our upload. So upload files. So select files and head to the home directory where my reverse shell file is. So just click on the php reverse shell.phar, click on the open, and wait for our file to upload. Before we execute this file, let's create a listener. So ncards lvp, we're going to use the same 123 on our PHP reverse shell script. So we have a port listening for the 1234. Now we can execute the script. So in order to do that, right click on it, click on the get info, You can see the link for the file right here. So I'll just right click on the link and copy link location, and I can use this tab. Let's just fix that URL in here and execute. Good. So let's try to go back to our netcard to see if we have a connection. Good. So let's spawn these shells. I'm just going to paste the Python code to spawn the shell, and we have the www data account, so we can say ID to see our current ID on this system, and we can also cat slash etc slash password to see other users on this system, since all the user has access to this etc slash password file. So interestingly, there's only one account with ID of 1000 and above, which is the scam site. If we try to switch to scam site, we need a password to log in. So just enter random password. So unfortunately we can't log in because we don't have the password. Sorry about that, lost that connection. So let me just create that again, and I'll just reload this page. So we got our shell, so just spawn the TTY shell. So what we're going to do is to see if we can get some information disclosure or password disclosure from this account that belongs to the scam site account. But in order to do this, I'm going to head to the let's cd into the var slash www slash the html file directory. I beg your pardon. So if I ls on this directory, what do we have? So we have the index.html, which is the default page. We have the PHP info page, we have the Subrion, we have the test, and we have the WordPress. So you can explore others, but I'll just head to the WordPress straight. So let's cd into WordPress, and let's ls to see the content of WordPress. So we have various files here. We have the PHP files. For example, we have the index.php, license.txt, and a couple of other files on this machine. But what I'm going to do is to see the content of the WP config to see if we can get any password configuration from that point. But this is a large file, so what I will do is to grab the word password to see if there's any phrase of password inside this WP config. So what I'm going to do is to so let's cat WP config, and let's pipe this into grep, and let's use the ignore case characters. And what are we ignoring? We're ignoring case character, and we're looking for password phrase in this file. So I'll just enter. Okay, so I made a mistake, so I'll just WP config. I did not put the extension .php. Then I will pipe it into grep with ignore case and password. Just run that again. Okay, good. So we have the MySQL database password for the scam site account. I will just copy this and add to our findings. So let's just call this my SQL password. Just paste this. So let's see if there is a reuse of password. So the account name is campsite. So I'm just going to try to log in into this campsite account, since now I have the password. So copy this one more time, and so let's try to switch to scam site, and password. Good. So now we can cd to the home directory, can ls, and we have this web server folder on the home directory of the scam site account. So what I can do is to check the privilege of this account to see if it has sudo privilege. Of course it has sudo privilege. So the scam site may run the following command on tech support. So it can run the user/bin the iconv binary without any password. So what I'm going to do is to look up the privilege escalation of the iconv on the iconv on the GTFO bin. So we'll just head to a new terminal and let's just search for iconv GTFO bin. So this is the first link, and we want to be able to read a file from this system without the root privilege, because we need to gain the root privilege to be able to get our flag, which is the root.txt flag. So this vulnerability or this privilege escalation on the iconv binary allow us to read data from file. It may be used to do privilege read or disclose file outside the restricted file system. Now we are restricted to the root of this system, but using this privilege escalation method, we'll be able to read file that we normally would not be able to read with our current privilege. So what I'm going to do is to copy this first, and if I copy this, I'll just paste it right here. LFI to read. So let's assign LFI something to our LFI. So say L file equals to, I'll just grab root account slash root.txt. Okay, so we've set that. So the next thing is to execute the next command, which is this, but in this case with a sudo privilege. So I can just grab this. So with sudo privilege, I'm going to execute this. Okay, I think we have issue right here. I think that was my fault, so let's do that again. Equals to /root or /root.txt, and I'll just execute this command once more. Good, so we have our last flag for this room. So I'll just grab this and we'll head to the TryHackMe platform and paste our flag right here. Click on submit, and just like that, we're done with the tech support room. So guys, that will be all for now. If you like this video, make sure you like, subscribe and share. See you next time.